text just because they don't like him, just because I don't even know.
Yeah, it was an overtime game where Rudy Gobert was playing, and they got like a couple of questionable calls while he was trying to get rebounds. And he goes, I think it's hurting our game. I know the betting and all that is becoming bigger and bigger, but it shouldn't feel that way. And Charles Barkley calls for Rudy Gobert's suspension after the $100K fine. Barkley thinks Gobert should be suspended because of the implication of Gobert's gestures is dangerous for the NBA. I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily dangerous, but I've been actually feeling this way about NBA basketball, that there's so many bad officials. There's so many officials where you almost know, like, if they're officiating, this official's officiating this player's game, that player has a high, rating of losing. Just like Scott Foster and Chris Paul, and he has some other nemesis that he also doesn't like. And Joey Crawford was also another one that never liked Tim Duncan. So Tim Duncan would also get like BS calls and random texts.
True.
And, like they mentioned with Fred Van Fleet, who used to play on the Raptors, who's now on the Rockets, that he even got into it with Scott Foster, right? I believe.
Yeah, he got into him and Boogie Cousins, Steven Jackson. So it was a lot of people, and we got a little audio here of basically this situation. Then we're gonna come back, tell you more facts, and then give you our opinion. And I hope y'all give us y'all's.
Timberwolves went into an overtime thriller against the Cavs, and Gobert was called for a technical foul in the closing seconds of regulation and did a certain gesture at Scott Foster. Following the game, Gobert, who has a reputation for being outspoken, didn't deny what he did and went further into saying sports betting could be having a major impact on the outcome of the games. Now, this was such a big deal because Gobert's tech allowed the Cavs to tie the game up, and they even went on to win the game during overtime. And I mean, calling a technical foul with 30 seconds left is kind of BS. But when you look into Scott Foster's past,
his past is just horrible. I mean, like him and Tim Donaghy. I mean, we saw that video how the only people that Tim Donaghy called more than his basically bookie was for Scott Foster, which is crazy. So, I mean, it has to be something to that. A lot of these NBA refs, I mean, they do funny things. I mean, I always wonder how this player gets called you call travel on this player, but don't call travel on this player. It's
like
just
James
too much.
Harden used to get away with murder.
True, and I mean, the funny thing is Richard Jefferson's now trying to be an NBA ref, and I'm just wondering, like, when will?
I think that was more of a joke, man.
No, he says he wants to do it.
He wants to quit being a sideline announcer.
I mean, you see Avery Johnson. I think it was Avery Johnson. He's done like every job. No, not Avery Johnson. Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas has done like every job in sports. In NBA, he played the basketball. He was on ESPN. He was on NBA Network. He was on the court. He was doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he still sucks to this day.
Hard. He beat Jordan.
Jordan beat him, and he walked off the court.
It doesn't matter.
He wouldn't even shake his hand.
He beat Jordan to win the ring.
Jordan's got 6-0.
It doesn't, not against him.
They didn't play in the finals.
He beat him in the conference finals. Because this is one of the 9 times that Jordan couldn't even. The many times that Jordan couldn't even win a playoff game.
Nobody has a better finals record in like the
you
modern
can't
era,
erase
which is
Michael
the 90s and beyond.
You can't erase the first half of Michael Jordan's basketball career.
It's not erasing it.
Yes, you are.
That was him going from a young player to a player who understand what it needs to win.
Horrible.
And then once he won 6 and 8 years because he took a couple years off because his dad passed away. Horrible. He was sad.
This is like who is another NBA player that just never won? Who just hasn't? It's like Lamar Jackson. How you give Lamar Jackson all this flack, but then you erase all of Michael Jordan's first half of his.
I mean, I don't really start counting things against him until he had like another All-Star. He was trying to do it by himself. He was literally the only good player on his team. He had a whole bunch of bums, especially his first 4 years or so.
So you give Michael Jordan the first half a pass? Years.
It's not a pass. It's just he wasn't to his peak yet.
So are you giving Lamar
Michael Jordan was he was only going off of his, winning off his athleticism. But then it's later once he started to learn to combine that with the intelligence of the game and picking your spots and playing defense. And he's always played defense, but, just doing things at the correct time. Lamar Jackson still has time to be great, but he's still looking like Jaylen Brown, interviewing him. Well, where do you see yourself in 8-9 years, Jaylen Brown? Oh, I see myself 7 championships, MVP, and it's like, dude, you got 1 year to win 7 championships. Where you at, bro?
Y'all some haters, but comment down below. Let us know how you feel about NBA refs. Is it really rigged? Do some NBA refs show favoritism?
Some games I've been questioning, man.
You think so?
Some games, like one side cannot get a call. Like they have to dang near get close on to get a call, and sometimes the other side is barely breathe on someone, and it's like a dang near a flagrant.
This is what Luke would be crying about.
It's it's one sided. Yeah, I mean, it's so bad because it's like people want to make fun of like LeBron or Luka, but you really look at it, it's every player. Jason Tatum cries, James Harden cries, Kevin Durant cries, Wemby cries. Sometimes
they said the Lakers
Rudy cries.
The Lakers had to go to the front office and complain about LeBron James not getting any foul calls.
Well, I mean, it's kind of tough with the Lakers because they shoot like double the free throws more than any other team in the league. So it's crazy that they get that many more opportunities and chances, and they're still barely fighting for a chance to be in the play-in.
Whatever, we still going.
They got to check. They're 9. They might be 10.
Nah,
I know because I think Golden State lost. No, yeah, they lost.
They just lost to the King. Who did they play?
So I got to see. And the Lakers won tonight, so the Lakers might be.